The Chicago Bears made a drastic decision. Matt Eberflus has been fired, but that's not all. There is an unexpected name on the list of potential replacements, coming straight from college football. Could this be the change the Bears need to rise again? Stay with us until the end to find out, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. The Bears locker room is on fire after the loss to the Lions. Cornerback Jalen Johnson had an explosive exchange with former coach Matt Eberflus. What sparked this anger, and how did it affect the team? This incident was so intense that it led to Eberflus firing, something never before seen in Bears history during a season. Don't miss the details of this drama. Injuries are hitting the Bears hard after the loss to the Lions. Quarterback Caleb Williams and other key players are dealing with serious physical issues. With interim head coach Thomas Brown in charge, will the team be able to overcome these adversities and finish the season on a high note? Find out how these injuries could change the Bears' course and stay updated with all the news. Subscribe and leave a like. After the 23-12 loss to the Detroit Lions last Thursday, things heated up in the Bears locker room. According to journalist Jay Glazer, cornerback Jalen Johnson had an intense argument with former coach Matt Eberflus. And when I say intense, it was because Johnson used strong language to express his frustration. Imagine this. Eberflus was trying to talk to the team after the loss when Johnson, a Pro Bowl cornerback, interrupted and started venting without filters. This exchange lasted about 10 to 15 minutes, and after that, Eberflus left the locker room, making it clear that his departure was imminent. Other journalists, such as Adam Johns and Diana Rennie from The Athletic, also confirmed this tense episode. One player said Johnson was highly emotional and extremely angry, but he had a point since he had been with the team longer than most. Another player mentioned that Johnson was more upset with Eberflus, and the coach ended up leaving the locker room after the confrontation. Eberflus firing on Friday was significant, as the franchise had never fired a coach during the season before. But how do we get to this point? The Bears chose Caleb Williams as the first overall pick in the draft and surrounded him with offensive talent like DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, and DeAndre Swift. But the team has a 4-8 record and has lost several games in the final minutes, largely due to poor time management and decision-making. For example, in the loss to the Washington Commanders, the Bears failed to defend the sidelines in the penultimate play, allowing the opponents to reach the Hail Mary zone. In another game against the Green Bay Packers, Williams drove the team into a 46-yard field goal range, but Eberflus chose not to run any plays with 30 seconds left, resulting in a blocked kick. In the loss to the Lions, history repeated itself. Williams was sacked with 32 seconds remaining, taking the Bears out of field goal range. Instead of calling a timeout to calm the situation and draw up a play, the team rushed to line up, and with time running out, Williams could only throw a desperate pass to the end zone, which was incomplete. This was yet another painful loss for a team that had come so close to winning. Now, with Eberflus out, interim coach Thomas Brown faces the task of stabilizing the team. But the job won't be easy. During the game against the Lions, Caleb Williams took a hit to his left knee from linebacker Jack Campbell. The play was concerning, and although Williams said it was just a bruise, he expressed frustration with the aggressiveness of the tackle. If the issue is serious, it could affect Williams' performance in upcoming games. Additionally, running back Rashad Johnson suffered a concussion, and right tackle Darnell Wright had a knee injury in the third quarter. Wright, who had been playing well and was the highest-rated player of the game until his exit, was taken to the locker room and is questionable for the next game. His replacement, Larry Borom, had one of the worst performances of the game, further complicating the offensive line. And we can't forget safety Jaquan Brisker, who had his third concussion in 3 years. Although he said he is recovering, he is still unable to return from the injured list. Will these injuries impact the Bears' performance in upcoming games? The situation is challenging for interim coach Thomas Brown, who begins his tenure with the team amid so much instability. What do you Bears fans think of all this? As a Bears fan, the current situation is heart-wrenching but also calls for urgent changes. The team has shown a mix of frustration and untapped potential. Matt Eberflus' dismissal was a necessary step. His decisions, especially with clock management and play calling, were critical points that cost many games. His departure represents an opportunity to rewrite the narrative and try something new. The hiring of Thomas Brown as interim head coach brings a glimmer of hope, but it's clear he will face a significant challenge. Caleb Williams' performance so far has been promising, But with injuries piling up and an unstable offensive line, it's difficult to develop a consistent game. Seeing players like Darnell Wright leaving the field and Jaquan Brisker, who has had multiple concussions, adds even more concern to an already complicated season. Injuries are a hard blow, especially for a team that already struggles with chemistry and cohesion. As a fan, I see that the team needs a solid offensive system and a defense that can keep pressure on the opponent. The key to moving forward is not just focusing on draft picks, but also developing a more resilient and reliable game culture. And, of course, I hope Caleb Williams continues to develop as a quarterback, as he is the future of the Bears. The question is, will the team be able to bounce back this season, or will it be another wasted year? The hope is that the new head coach, Thomas Brown, and the team's leadership can find a way to make this transition and start building something positive. Only then can we, as fans, have a reason to believe that the Bears are heading in the right direction. But it's a long and uncertain road, and we'll have to root hard to see improvement happening.